Welcome to this podcast episode. Let me try set the visual picture for you. I am sitting in the sun in our house in Spain on the terrace and enjoying a little bit of quiet after lunch. I have had a paddle morning, so my body feels great. I'm full, I'm hydrated, I'm feeling good. I'm going on here thinking about what did I want to share with you today. And one thing that's been on my mind for quite some time now is how the world is changing in terms of how we can support each other in our growth. If I look 5 years back, everything came up with online courses. Like everyone was doing online courses, trying to share their own experience to tell you how to finally break free. And I believe it's the freedom that a person feels when they break free from something. And it's just any area of life, like being money, breaking free out of a marriage that was not healthy, breaking free from fights with the kids, breaking free from inner toxic thoughts, any kind of achievement that has been something we've been working for. And then I feel the society has been teaching us, and it has worked, it has really worked to share that part, put it into a course, tell your steps, what did you do? And then other people can do the same, and then they can experience the same freedom. Why I like the Enneagram is because I feel there's a missing link in this process, which is if I'm a type 7, which I am, and if I share my experience, my personal experience, and the steps that I have been taken to reach my goal, I will give you the formula for type 7, including the fears that I'm having as a type 7, including the longing that I'm having as a type 7. And if you are a type 2 and you already have a really brilliant mind to take things within and shame yourself, and you then want the same freedom that you can see that I have just achieved, and you follow my plan, that is gonna really brain fuck you because you're gonna feel so ashamed and so wrong for not being able to follow what I'm following. And also you will not see the results that I'm experiencing, because your way of doing it is different than my type. Then I feel that, okay, people, like the world kind of got that message, and now we have developed into something like, okay, so I cannot make it about me, I need to make it about you. And I need to get into your head and figure out how I can apply my structure on you. And then we start coaching, we start mentoring, and I feel this is where we are right now, that everyone wants to share this freedom that they have achieved. And it's such a beautiful message. It's so beautiful that we have achieved something, and we are so delighted about it that we just want to share it with the whole world. And we want to let everyone experience that kind of freedom. We want to share it. We don't want to go into competition in terms of like, I got the freedom, you didn't get it. We're not making each other wrong for it, which is beautiful. But still, there is this aspect of let me fix you because something is wrong with you and you don't have this freedom. And I think it becomes very intimidating when we are pushing our help and enthusiasm onto other people. I believe that the real development and the real motivation comes as we understand what's going on. And that's why I think now we're moving towards, we're changing, we're moving towards creating communities of sharing tools rather than trying to directly support and guide each other. So we're moving away from the individual pressure into leaving open spaces where people are invited to walk in and understand their own journey, get to understand what is moving within them, what is actually their own longings, what is actually for them. And then once you have that connection from the feminine energy within yourself, you then have the tools. You are provided with the tools, a lot of different tools to try out, to be curious about yourself without someone necessarily giving you step by step, not necessarily being right behind you, but actually leaving the space for you to experience this for yourself, for you to have these learnings for yourself, for you to have space to fall, do mistakes, find and feel your own limits, and then from there, feel brave to break them. And these tools, being whatever, like anything, emotional release, tapping, talking, very similar to what we are already providing, but the message behind it is different. The message is not pushing you into doing it in a specific way. It is basically just providing your knowledge, sharing your knowledge of how to use a tool. And then it's up to you to kind of observe it in your system according to what you believe in and where you are. That also leads me into wanting to talk about healing and our understanding of what is this journey actually looking like for each of us. I think for, as I understand the world now, we have been operating a lot in the masculine energy, doing things like Nike's good old tagline, just do it, which is changing now. It's like, don't just do it. Hold on. Don't just do it. Like, hold your horses and know what's going on. We're moving into the feminine energy to learn to listen to our inner world. We're learning to understand again what our personal journey looks like. What actually am I believing in my system? What am I programmed to believe if I take off all the layers of who I was supposed to be and become in order to be loved and accepted? And then getting into the layers of what do I actually want from there? It's like, okay, you're back at zero, and now who do I want to become? What do I want to achieve? What do I find is my next step? And from that feminine energy, we are also learning the whole healing part, that, okay, it actually makes sense that I take a look and I dare to go back to the pain that I felt as a child when my parents didn't give me space for my feelings, parts of myself that I've been ashamed of and that I am constantly running away from. And I do truly believe that healing is necessary. But I also believe that it's very different how much healing we need as individual people. According to the Enneagram, I believe that we have very different dominant energies. So if we just look at the feminine and masculine, we would have a dominant energy of these two. And according to, let's just take type 4, having, I would say, 95% spirit, 95% feminine energy, and just 5% masculine. I think according to your personality, you also need to go more with your dominant energy. So, for example, type 4 need to spend majority of their life with the feelings, because that's also where their wisdom lies, and that's what they can bring into this world that can teach us something that we don't have access to necessarily. But still, the 5% masculine needs to be taught. It needs to be explored. It needs to be developed, and so on with all the types. So the types that are having a majority of their soul having feminine energy, they would need more healing. It would feel more natural for them to actually go in and feel deep and do different kinds of healing tools in their past. Where the masculine types, I don't believe we need so much healing as the ones having the dominance in the feminine. So let's say that type 8 is the most masculine type we have in Enneagram, in my opinion. So let's say that they are 90% masculine and they are having 10% feminine energy. I would say that they don't need as much healing. They don't need as much connection to their traumatic experiences in order to get their guidance and get their connection as a type 4 would have. Because it's not type 8's wisdom, it's not their leadership, it's not laying in digging into their feminine energy. That's not what they're here for. They, of course, need to learn how to do that. And this is where, when they face these things, this is where their wisdom will grow. But it's just important to also look at the individual journey again. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone to understand the past in details over and over again and keep healing themselves. Sometimes we also just need to know that the purpose of healing is only to get connected to ourselves, only to understand, is there a part of myself where I'm acting as a child? Is there a part of myself where I'm not able to look objectively on the situation? And I think that's what we can use healing for. It's like I can see myself and I get the feedback from the people around me that I really look up to, that I am being subjective, I am being a child, I am being triggered in that specific situation. Okay, let me dig into it. What's going on here, since I'm not able to be my adult self, to take the decisions from a objective point of my consciousness, where I'm awake and conscious about what is the decision I need to make in order to move towards my next level. So I just think that there is a point where we also now drooling. I want to say drooling. Maybe that's not even an English word, but who cares? Getting stuck in healing, and that we need to heal more, and we need to dig deeper, and we need to talk more about our past, and we need to get more into the emotions, and we need to be working more on our healing journey. And that's not necessarily true. So I want to ask a question for your self-reflection afterwards, if you want to. What is for you? What do you feel is your perspective of healing? Have you tried a healing exercise that were more connecting you to your core than others? Have you experienced that it's possible for you to be objective in a situation and then see the difference where you're subjective and you're not able to get over like all this? I guess we can all recognize this feeling of like this inner stubbornness, or it's difficult to say sorry, it's difficult to admit. It's like we do feel this resentment and resistance within ourselves, and that is the alarm telling us that we are triggered. Here, there is something here that is either including our fear, and we're afraid of something in the present, or we are having to do with a traumatic experience where our body is reacting out of it. And what kind of healing is working for you? How is it different from you? And do you feel any pressure from outside? Do you feel that, okay, I am actually doing something because I'm told that this is the right thing, that I'm told to be awakened and spiritual, I need to do it in a specific way? What is your way? What is making sense for you? Without the guilt, without the shame, without anyone from outside. The last thing I want to wrap this talk up with is to ask you if you dare to get honest opinions from people that you really trust and that you look up to. There's so many people having a lot of advices for us all the time. They would say them straight to you, or they would send you a little wink, or they would talk behind your back. The first thing that is to remember is that we only take advices from people that have a life that we admire. I will not take economical advices from a person that is in a hamster wheel setting, like that is having a natural or not natural, but that has a ordinary life, so to say. What is ordinary nowadays? Everything is so weird, but someone having a full-time job and making a saving and living in that hamster wheel, as we called it. I think my life even is a hamster wheel nowadays, but I will not take advices from that person because we don't have the same lifestyle. We don't view money in the same way. We don't view life in the same way. So for me to go and take an advice from a person that lives such a different life from me, I'm not saying it's better or it's worse, it's just different. That will only make me go further away from my core and further away from who I am and who I want to be. But taking advice from a person who is living a life and that are a few steps ahead of me, that is who I want to listen to. Finding people that I can look up to in terms of personality-wise, we are the same, we are alike. I am following Amanda Francis on Instagram and I'm reading her book, and she is so inspiring for me because I feel that she's a type 7 too. So it's inspiring me that she's having a lifestyle I want, and she has done it the way that I feel is true to who I am. But then she would be the only one I want advices from. And to protect that kind of dream of yours is definitely step number one. Also, in terms of this whole healing journey, like if we go into having advices from someone which is having their personality is having majority or dominant in their feminine, and I am dominant in my masculine, then I am drifting my core into something that I am not. And you can still be best friends, but it's just very important to understand that we're different, and what is needing the inner healing and the inner guidance and connection that she is needing to connect with will require more of her time than for me. And that doesn't mean my connection is less real or less deep, or it just means that I'm not born to be there in majority of my time. I'm born to be more in my masculine. So I think that was what I wanted to share with you today. Please let me know what you think. Reach out to me on Instagram if you have that. It's marie.boe. And until next time.